Hey guys, and welcome to a video that I have been very excited to make this year. BNC is bringing you your first race commentary. Now, we had a number of riders representing us in this race, including the guy in front of me, number one, that was Robbie. And we also had Neil representing us. He's not in the red Braveheart kit, but he is wearing a red helmet just in front, and number 10. We also had guys in the other races. Lee and Steve and Mark were in the other race along with Neil. The course itself was the Oulton Park race circuit. It looks really hilly from the graphic, but actually it's not too bad at all. There's only one short, sharp climb, and the rest of the time it's pretty flat and pretty fast. So I am going to try and stay locked onto Rob's wheel for as much of this race as I possibly can. Because it will be fast, and he has the ability to put out many more watts than me. Now you can see already this is the first lap, and right from the go people are attacking at the bottom of the big drop, so the field just gets strung out right away. I'm having to put out 700 watts just to get onto the wheel of the guys who are in front. You know, as we come around that first hairpin, you can see already it's just so strung out, and yeah, this was not an easy start at all. You know, I'm putting out 800 watts trying to get on Rob's wheel to get in the draft. Yeah, and then this is up the first hill. It's all come back together, but another attack flies off, and guys are just going for it, just straight away pushing into the red, or at least pushing me into the red. Yeah, it was a fast start. It was really fast. And already you can see there's massive gaps appearing. And unfortunately for us, the story of this race was just we ended up on the wrong side of these gaps. You can see Rob there. He's behind number 8 at the moment. Number 8 was kind of looking round at this point, just seeing, okay, who's there, who's going to go. At this moment, I'm just sitting on. I can't really push forward, but already there's this massive gap that's opened up, and there's a number of really strong riders that have gone over to that gap. So now what you're seeing is guys just bridging off the front, because already they think this is going to be the move. This is the move that's going to get away. And we're on lap 1. I'm already like pushing thresholds and just putting out really high numbers of watts. You know, I'm on the front here, but the chances of making this gap, you know, the race just got away from us so quickly, and ultimately that was the move. The move went literally in lap 1 out of a 12-lap race, and we just couldn't pull it back. So I'm thinking now, this chasing group has got to think, we are a chasing group. Let's chase. Let's work together. Let's try and bring back this front group. There's got a lot of strong riders in it, but the only way we're going to get them back is if people start working together. So that ultimately was what I was thinking. It was like, okay, the mentality is we're going to be able to work together on this. But you can kind of see here guys sort of looking around, wondering who's going to do the pace setting, and then we have guys attacking off the front and guys working to pull them back in. You can see Rob's tucked in here chasing, number 7's chasing, and I'm chasing. But that's not coherent. That's just going to be acceleration, deceleration, and yeah. And at this point you can see number 7 saying, we got to work together. We got to actually work as a unified force to reel this group back in. So I come to the front and I'm like, okay, I'll take my turn. Let's try and rotate this. And then I flick my elbow out. But again, you can just see there's like 1 or 2, and then there's a gap, and it just wasn't working. And this really went on for the best part of, I don't know, 3 laps. And you can see now we're on about lap 4. And then finally we get a chain going, which is what we needed to do right away, really. So you can see there we're shouting through at this point, let's keep this going, let's keep this going. And we did for a few laps, but again, you know, we're about halfway through the race, and again it just kind of all splinters. And you know, again, I'm on the front, you know, pulling through, but there's a limit to what the guys could do. And again, you know, Rob's taking it on, but we just didn't have the help in that group. Whether that's because guys were just saving themselves or because guys were absolutely shattered, you know, you just don't know. So after taking a few turns at the front, you know, I have to drop back a bit just because I've pretty much been working at threshold. But again, I want to be mindful that attacks might go. So you can see me moving up on the inside here. And I didn't want to go too far back because I thought if there's another split, you know, I don't want to be on the wrong side of that, because we've still got a long way to go. Now, in this bit here, you can see there's a group that just goes off the front. There's a guy attacking from the side on the left, and there's a couple of guys up ahead on the right. And again, at this point, the field just kind of looks at each other, and we let those three riders get away. Again, just because the group dynamic wasn't there to chase them. So, you know, again, guys at the front were putting in big efforts when they were at the front, but we needed more. We needed more from everybody in that group, really. So up the hill, you can see, you know, it's lap number 7 now. People are having to put a lot of effort in. From a personal point of view, this was actually one of my favourite parts. Being a lighter rider, actually that hill, I could kind of feel myself just shifting a bit easier. I could get up it a bit easier, and you could just feel the pace slowing at that point as some of the bigger guys, you know, found the hill a little bit tougher. So that was encouraging for me. Maybe I just needed a hillier course. So again, now we're, you know, trying our best to catch. We probably can still see the group of 3 at this point. And I've got to give some shout outs to the guys in front who were working at this point. You know, you can see number 5 there. You know, he's putting a shift in. Number 7, you know, he's working really hard to get back. And there were some of the guys, you know, who were really putting shifts in to try and bridge the gaps. And yeah, we just couldn't get to where we needed to be. But you can see at the front here, this was a guy who had attacked off the front earlier, and he got pulled back in.
I'll play, fella, jump on.
So I gave him a bit of encouragement just because I wanted, you know, again, us to try and work together, you know, and you've got to respect people who are trying to attack. But at this point, you know, he goes again, number 61. And, you know, in fairness, he was punching. He was trying to get something going. But at this point in the race, with the amount of energy we've put in so far, I just don't think a solo attack like that was going to work, really. But, you know, it's bike racing. That's fair enough if you want to do that. But at the same time, you know, and Rob's at the front again, just pulling. He did so much work at the front, Robbie. He really, really did put a shift in. You know, all the guys who were there really, really worked, you know, at the front. You know, you got number 7 again. It was the same numbers, you know, trying to get things going, trying to bring these guys back. You know, number 7, number 61 when he got caught. You know, fair play. He did do a lot of work. And number 8 as well. So number 61 having a go again. And being closed down by number 7. Rob's like, get on my wheel, let's go. And so again, we're pushing close to 1,000 watts. You know, yeah. And this is again, you know, in the chase group, number 61 realizing the game was up. And again, we're just like, let's go. Let's try and get this thing going again. So that group of 3 who just passed us there was Lee and 2 other riders, and they'd broken away from the front of the main peloton, but I don't think that was the front of the overall race. And this is the other peloton catching us up. Now, we were in the under 40s race. TLI does things by age category, and the over 40s It had a much bigger peloton. You can see Neil, another Braveheart at the end there, even though he's not in red. They had a much bigger peloton driving it than us, so even though they started, I think it was 3 minutes behind. With the way our group was going, only a few guys at the front doing the work, it was always going to be difficult for us to stay away. So we're getting towards the end now. I think this is the kind of second to last lap. Things are starting to string out a little bit again. I'm just sheltering in the bunch, trying to regain some energy, really. So we hit the bell lap and loads of support from the side, so much support for the Bravehearts. It was fantastic to see so many people out, and a shout from a guy just making sure there wasn't a coming together, which was good. More attacks going off the front. I'm not sure whether this guy managed to stay away. Guys are tired now. You know, there's a lot of tired legs out there, especially from the guys who've been doing work at the front. Again, you can see Rob's right there. Number 7, number 61, all the guys who've been working hard at the front, and everybody is just super tired at this point in the race, and so there's not a huge amount of enthusiasm to chase the guy for what would be, you know, kind of maybe 4th, 5th in age category. There's not a huge amount of appetite for that. So again, you know, guys trying to work hard, Rob putting the effort in again, and we're just about to come up on the final turn as we get towards the finish. I'm feeling pretty shattered at this point. You can see my heart rate's dropped off a bit. I just had to do so much more work at kind of the pointy end of the race. If you get a big peloton at Oulton Park, you can literally just sit in it and cruise around at 25, 26 miles per hour. But that just wasn't the case today. It was much more work than that. So we're coming up to the final section of the race now, and I'll talk you through how it all panned out. Number 8 went for another attack off the front, and again there was a few looks round. I sort of looked and saw Robbie again chasing down moves brilliantly, so I was able to jump on the wheels of the guys who were following him. That was Neil, who we haven't seen loads of in this race, and the reason was he was off the front, I believe, with the main group, and then he ended up getting pulled back. But he was shouting at Robbie to tell him to go for it because the field was tiring, and I initially said I would attack up this last climb, but because of the pace that was being set, it was just impossible for me to make any major inroads. So yeah, I just thought if I stick with the group, I can at least sit on some people's wheels and maybe try and come around at the end. And right there you can see Rob pull off to the left, and there were two groups kind of leading out, and I had a choice really about which one I went on. I think I picked the right one, but it cost me a lot of effort to get on this wheel. You know, you can see I'm having to put out, 300-400 watts and a big 600 watt dig before then. But this was the group out of the chasing group that ended up being first over the line. Robbie just doing a titanic job at the front again. But ultimately, the two guys who were sitting on were able to get past him. And I opened up my sprints a little bit too late to get past them and just didn't really have enough at the end there. But overall, terrific race. Thank you very much to the organisers of Oulton Park. Thank you to all the Bravehearts supporters who came out and shouted and cheered and just gave us loads and loads of encouragement. It was a great race. I think Robbie placed 4th in the category. I came 5th. And we'll go again next time. So guys, thank you very much for watching. And this is BNC signing off. I'll see you down the road.